dimes, what he did last night with Jaylen Brown playing and him just coming off an Achilles tear. Okay, let's point that out. Wendy, we'll see you a little bit later. We're going to turn to the NFL now because Rams star wide receiver Puka Nacua is entering rehab, according to his attorney, in an attempt to, quote, improve his overall behavior in every aspect of his life. Nacua was seen making inappropriate gestures on a live stream a few months ago and was involved in an incident on New Year's Eve in which he was accused of biting a woman on her shoulder. Here's Adam Schefter earlier on Get Up.
Everybody believes that Puka is going to get paid, but the Rams obviously want him to get the help and treatment he needs first before they move on to the contractual element of this. And when teams are doing contracts, they look at the entire picture. They need that person to be a leader on and off the field. They need him to be an example, and you're going to make him one of the highest paid players in the $1 million. You need to make sure that that person is going to be handling himself the right way.
Okay, so Nacua's attorney says that he will complete the program in plenty of time to be involved in all of the Rams OTAs. So that goes back to Adam Schefter's point in terms of him being a whole version of himself if they're going to pay him the big bucks. Your reaction to this, Stephen A?
Well, I'm happy he's getting the help that he needs. It doesn't escape me that he was getting rehab before, if I remember correctly, before the lawsuit was filed. If you remember, Shay, the lawsuit that ultimately was alleged against him, alleged that he bit 2 women, not just one. He bit 2 women. And so you have that going on. Then you have other things where the Rams have even stepped in and were urging him to get get some kind of help. I'm just reading from here, just days before a game against the Seahawks, he attempted to bring streamers into the team facility without permission. He later appeared on a live stream criticizing NFL referees and participating in a touchdown dance that carried anti-Semitic undertones, even though he says, and I'll take him at his word, that he had no idea that it had anti-Semitic undertones and stuff like that. And he apologized for that, in fairness to him. At the end of the day, here's the deal, and this is what people need to understand, particularly professional athletes. There are morals clauses in everything. When you do things that are detrimental to the brand that you are supposed to represent, there are ways for people to get out of commitments that they've made to you if you are in violation of those moral clauses. And more, when you see incidences coming down the pike, you're going to see teams adding and implementing stipulations in the contract, Shay, just to make sure they protect themselves, because Nacua is an all-world receiver. And when you see Jackson Smith-Njigba and the money that he just got, obviously Nacua wants something in that ballpark. You saw Justin Jefferson get paid. You saw Jamar Chase and T. Higgins get paid. More so Jamar Chase, rather. We all know that. And it's going to be Puka Nacua's turn. You can't deny that he deserves the money as a football player. But what you can say is that your behavior is jeopardizing your availability, because if we don't step in, who's to say that the NFL won't? And as a result, we're going to have to make sure to protect ourselves. And so that's what they have to do. They have to make sure that you implement in contract negotiations some stipulations that's with language that's going to protect you from the event that he transgresses again, in hopes that that will be the deterrent needed in order for him to get things straight. He doesn't seem to be a bad guy or anything like that, but when you hear allegations like this, obviously that's troublesome. That's not behavior that can ever be explained away, tolerated in any way. Stuff. You don't go around biting people. What the hell wrong with you? You can't do that, all right? And so in the end, that kind of stuff has to be addressed. The NFL is going to address it if the Los Angeles Rams have not. The Los Angeles Rams appear to be on top of the situation. I can't think of a better coach to play for than Sean McVay. I think he's one of, if not the best in the business, and a highly intelligent and a great, really good, decent guy. He really, really is. That has a lot of love for Puka Nacua, and I thought handled the stuff with the reporters the way a coach should handle it. He wanted to collect more facts and stuff like that, but acknowledge that there were issues, that there was troubles, that the Los Angeles Rams as an organization are aware of and are in the process of dealing with, and I don't think you can ask for more than that. So I understand it, and I just wish Puka Nacua the best. Get yourself straight. You got a really, really bright future ahead of you, my man. Keep yourself out of trouble, and whatever issues you have, do what you can to rectify them. That's all we can say.
The problem with a lot of the stuff with Nacua is a lot of it was on social media or on a live stream, or if there's video of it. which I think raised a lot of eyebrows this offseason. Obviously, also him in a contract year, as we pointed out. But as you said, Sean McVay says he believes in this kid and that he's going to hope that he gets the help he needs and can come out on the
Shay,
side. Go ahead.
Shay, I want to know what you think about this, because here's what I would tell you. I would ask Shay, I want to ask you this question. I think it's good that it happened on social media, some of it. And the reason why is because there's no plausible deniability.
Right.
It's right there. You see, when nobody sees it, and it's just a he said, she said, but there's some incriminating evidence against you, you can find a way to explain it away in certain situations, which is something that we've lamented. But the more stuff is out in the open on Front Street, the less plausible deniability there is. And as a result, you and the people you work for and with are compelled to address it, as opposed to finding an escape route. That's my belief. What about yours?
Yeah, I agree. It holds you accountable, right? Okay, well, there's video of it. There's no denying this is what happened, so we got to get help, or this looks similar to this, or whatever it may be. I agree. I'll take it. It just lives forever, which sometimes can be problematic. Coming up here on First Take, Wemby.
National Football League, but a story off the field here of significance. What do the fans need to know?
Greeny, he's been in rehab in California. His attorney told the California Post yesterday he's been there for a while, since shortly after the Super Bowl. He is expected to be there for a while, and obviously the Rams and Puka Nacua are trying to get him the help that he needs at this point in time. Obviously, there are a whole lot of issues tied to this on the field, off the field. He was involved in a case on New Year's Eve where he was accused of biting a woman. She filed a lawsuit against him. He's trying to get the help that he believes he now needs. And obviously, there are huge implications for the football element of this that the Rams are aware of. But they said it's most important right now for Puka to get the help that he needs as a person. And all the football stuff, the contract, that all can wait until after he's out.
Yes, I was going to say that. It feels inconsequential in comparison, but obviously for a football show, it is a big deal. The contract piece of this is going on sort of concurrently, or at least running along parallel tracks.
Look, we saw Jackson Smith-Njigba already become the highest paid wide receiver in football. Puka Nacua is that level of talent, and everybody believes that Puka is going to get paid. But the Rams obviously want him to get the help and treatment he needs first before they move on to the contractual element of this. And when teams are doing contracts, they look at the entire picture. They need that person to be a leader on and off the field. They need him to be an example, and you're going to make him one of the highest paid players in the league. Give him $40+ million. You need to make sure that that person is going to be handling himself the right way.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, obviously. As there's further information, we will let you know. In the meantime, the NFL owners are wrapping up their meetings in Phoenix. And maybe the most interesting thing here was Jerry Jones telling reporters that he has long-term plans in mind for George Pickens, but saying there have not been any negotiations regarding a deal. And I'm going to read you very specifically some of the quotes that he has here when he refers, Jerry Jones says, referring to the franchise tag, quote, that's part of what you sign up for in the NFL. The franchise tag is there for a purpose. It's to benefit the process to go ahead and put your team together. We are availing ourselves of it. So it sounds to me like Jerry Jones is absolutely planning to see George Pickens play this year on that franchise tag.
And if that is the case, I think we're looking at a situation here that has a lot of elements to it that make it a potentially troubling situation. Now, let's start by saying that if the two sides can reach agreement on a long-term deal, all that goes away.
Right.
George Pickens is happy. He's playing there under a long-term deal, and there are no other issues. But as it is right now, he's under the franchise tag. He's not going to sign the franchise tag anytime soon, which means he's not going to be at the offseason program because, number one, he's not allowed to be, and number two, he wouldn't want to be. They have until the middle of July to work out a long-term deal. If they cannot work out that long-term deal, then I would assume we wouldn't see George Pickens for the better part of the summer, maybe until shortly before the start of the season. He's not going to want to miss any paychecks that are well over $1 million a week. So we could expect to see him again shortly before the season, not taking part in the offseason program, maybe missing most of training camp. Now you're exposed to muscle pulls, hamstring strains, whatever it may be. Plus you have a player who's not particularly enthralled with the idea that he didn't get the contract that he wanted, and he's going to be thinking about free agency. There are a whole lot of elements here that make it a troubling, potentially troubling situation for the Cowboys.